Hi, everyone. Hey, welcome to Facebook Live with your host, Bill Free. I am the founder of Pure Presence Conferences. And this weekend, April 16, 17, and 18, we're having a fabulous conference, the Awareness Conference, with 35, 40 of my best friends, and you are included. I'm not going to leave you out. And we have been grateful to have many of the presenters, the speakers at all different days that are speaking on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday agree to come on to Facebook Live at our request and just give a little snippet of who they are so that you would know. And we're just really grateful and honored to have Isira with us today. And actually, tonight on the East Coast, it's tomorrow morning where Isira is. She's in Australia. Welcome to our Facebook Live introducing the Awareness Conference, Isira, and thank you for coming.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you, Bill. Thank you so much for inviting me. And it's, of course, a great joy to be here to share with everyone in the audience around the world, recognizing we're all part of this field of awareness.
Yes, yes. Well, I really when I was putting together the speakers, the list for this conference, you were at the top. I mean, I couldn't even say you're the top two because, well, I guess maybe you were the top two because I'm pretty fond of my wife, so I would put you in the top tier. And I say that because I know that where you share from is such a pure place that and you're not a Course in Miracles teacher or you don't, that's not the tradition, but where you are, where you speak from is what A Course in Miracles points to. And I loved your presentation in our previous conference, Pure Presence Summit, and our audience absolutely loved you. And I felt, well, they're speaking to me and saying we want to hear more of this from Isira. So I had some people ask me to make sure that I invite you back as well. So it's not just me; it's the audience is really hoping that you'll come back. So thank you for continuing to be a part of Pure Presence conferences and for this one as well.
Oh, that's just fabulous. It's a great blessing. It's my joy to be with you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Well, for you all that are in A Course in Miracles Facebook, the Chris Cade's Facebook page, and thank you, Chris Cade, for supporting the Awareness Conference as you do and all the things that we do at the Teachers of God Foundation. It's so gracious of you and generous to share this space with our audience. And for you all that are here, just know that the Awareness Conference is absolutely free. It's live all weekend. It's free for you, and we want you to participate in that. Why? Because if you're a true seeker and a lover of truth, this is a calling for you. This conference is gonna it might give you the one thing that's gonna change everything in your life. And Isira, the title of her talk is Calling in the World We Want. And she is not a manifest teacher. She's about having the experience of awakening, and by that and through that, you're calling in the world that you want. And Isira, if we were just to talk about a few of the snippets for your talk, you're going to give us a 90-minute talk at the conference and a Q&A, a live Q&A, what would be some of the content of what our audience would expect to hear?
I feel it's about us really recognizing and acknowledging that source of everything we truly aspire to is already present within us. And by exploring that and welcoming our awareness into the different aspects of that, we shed light on how and why it is we seem to be in a feedback loop of living a life and creating a world that we primarily don't want. If we look at the situation of the world at large. And so we're going to delve into that a bit, understand the root causes around that, and then really dig deeper into the source of our being and recognize the power of consciousness that we are, the presence of love that we are, and how this is absolutely instrumental to the experience we have and the experiences we are setting in motion. And so therefore the world that we do call in.
So, are you saying that there's a mechanism that allows us to change our experience by some of the tools that you're going to invite us, some of the ideas that you'll share
Mhm.
with us?
Absolutely. So yes, it'll be about recognizing your own innate knowing of these truths. And that's not to say you don't already recognize these. And it's very important that we recognize the more we affirm that, the more we are familiar with it, the more we're familiar with it, the more we embody it. So through that, we can then more powerfully implement the tools that we do know and new tools as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The one of the ideas that I saw in your session notes was the idea of how did we get here?
Mm.
Would you give us a little snapshot of what that might be? How did we get here?
Well, I guess different people could take that in different ways. How do we get here, as in how we even being, how we existing,
Yeah,
is a really
yeah,
wonderful inquiry in itself. And how did we get into the situation we're in with our lives in the world that we're sharing today? And really looking into that is so, so important if we want to understand what we've created and how we are creating this experience. And so, as we look into that, we come down to some of the fundamentals. Of course, everyone who is a truth seeker knows that we need to restore our connection in consciousness. We need to reawaken our heart, and not just some sentimental notion of our heart, but the living vibrational state of that, which is a very specific state of consciousness. It's not conceptual. And so that's what we're going to look at, this juxtaposition between the loss of that, the departure from that. How did we really lose that? Why have we departed from that? And how is it still present? How do we ignite that further? How do we magnify that? How do we embody that? How do we sit within it and integrate it so that it's no longer just sitting on the cushion, meditating and focusing in on consciousness and celebrating the truth that the presence of love is the greatest power in the world, the most powerful source of miracle, but that through that we are invited to come off of the cushion and into the world. How do we translate these truths into our lived experience?
yeah, yeah. Wow. Well, I guess that's a really nice beginning in how did we get here, and also what how do we get from this seeming fixed position that we found ourselves in? How do we get from here to the to perfect peace and happiness? How
Mhm.
do we get to and still in this bodysuit?
Precisely. And this is where I feel a lot of truth seekers and spiritual practitioners find it to be the biggest challenge, because we know it's one thing to go and sit on the cushion and to tune in, to tap into source, into consciousness. But it's another to have that as a lived human experience and for that to be relevant in our world. And a lot of spiritual practitioners struggle to find that integration. And that's where there's a few key elements that I have observed through my journey. And I have to say, from lifetimes, not just this lifetime, I've observed there have been a few missing links for a lot of spiritual seekers in this regard. And that's why we see there's still a lot of frustration, that people feel there is quite a split between our spirituality and what it means to live spiritual, for that
Yeah.
to really be alive in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it is quite a difference. And you have become uh, a model for that pointing. And having been ordained by the Dalai Lama and having a passion to serve and really opening up consciousness and our awareness to the natural, the heritage and the experience of the indigenous people, and being actually having that heritage yourself.
Mm.
You have this organic connection with that direct experience, and that comes through the communication, that comes through the passion that you have for this work. And for our audience, just know that Isira has an ebook that is part of this conference. The For the All Access Pass, she's given a an ebook to the Awakening You, which is an amazing spiritual teaching in and of itself. You could just take the book and you don't need Isira if you have her book, but you do. I mean, I'm not suggesting that to anyone, but it's quite a great spiritual uh, accompaniment to your awakening experience. And Isira will share with us the rest of the story, the calling in the world that you want. She'll really help you and to have the tools that can be helpful to access that point of here, that point of really living in the real you, the awakened you. And Isira is, as we're going to sign off of the Facebook Live, how would you leave our audience before this weekend in preparing their hearts and their minds to meet you in your talk this weekend?
I want to just really encourage everyone to know that it is absolutely possible, that everything we yearn for, everything we know, underlying all the chaos, the confusion, the truth we know abides in our heart, we can live it in the world. The love that we are born of, through, and from can be ignited in this world. We really can live this, truly embody this. It's not something separate that we have to somehow remove ourselves from the world, divorce ourselves. We want to escape. We feel helpless in the face of all of these challenges. it is truly possible for us to make the bridge. And together we are going to do that.
Yeah. Well, everyone, we're looking forward to having you join us for the awareness conference. And Isira is has been she just graced us with her a little bit of her wisdom tonight, just a little piece of getting to know her. Please come and visit us. We put a link in the Facebook Live for you so you can register for the free conference, and we'd love to see you there. We're not. This isn't a hard sell. We want you to have the tools that will help you to have a better life. And we look forward to sharing these speakers, these great musicians, and this whole experience. This is a weekend satsang that is for you. And we look forward to sharing with you this weekend. Thank you, Isira, for being part of this, and we'll see you at the Awareness Conference.
Fantastic. Really looking forward to it. Thank you, Bill and Cindy, everyone. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah. And thank you, Chris Cade. You're awesome, man.